folks that do want to watch us as they hear us here on the podcast, let's play that clip for the thrilling touchdown to win the game over the Salem Spartans, an 86-yard TD from Maurikus Banks to Keyontae Gray. This courtesy of the NFHS Network.
Banks takes the snap. Looking over the top, got Gray. Caught! Keyontae Gray is going to walk it off. The Phoebus Phantoms are going to win the 2023 Class 4 championship. 85 yards.
Oh, my gosh.
To Keyontae Gray.
Championship play that you had there with Jeremy, with your squad there with Keyontae Gray and Maurikus Banks, what you were going through as far as the emotion. You guys had gotten sacked the play before. What's going through your mind as you guys try to call that play to get it revved up and have a chance before you go to the overtime situation if you don't get the touchdown, because you know that's pretty much the last play of the game. You don't want to have a turnover there or a sack that could be a safety. Take me through that experience and that process if you can.
Right, that's exactly what was going on through our minds. You know, we were surveying the field. You know, we wanted to give it a shot to kind of put us in a little bit more position to see if it was worth taking the shot. We took the sack, you know, so what was going through my mind was, hey, I do not want to give these guys back the ball. So we gave the quarterback two signals. One was going to call for, hey, we're just going to go ahead and kneel it out and play for overtime. And the other one was going to call for us taking the shot, which was the play that we had put in. We wanted to see what coverage they were in. And when I surveyed what they had going on, you know, what was going through my mind was, hey, he believes we're going to kneel this thing out. So, you know, we went on ahead and said, let's let one fly. Let's see if we can put some pressure on those safeties really quickly and just put something up there and see what happens. You know, basic play, you know, that we run, and we're running this since the beginning of the year, you know, just putting pressure, two guys high on the safety and seeing if he can choose. And the quarterback was poised. The line gave him some great protection. And, you know, our receiver did his job and he made that play.
I'm here with Coach Ed Young, who last year got a chance to talk with your star quarterback, Nolan James, after the state championship. I know he got hurt in that game, and Ed knows him from obviously was once at Nansemond River. And Ed, as we have Coach Blunt with us on the phone, your thought about and your questions to him as far as this championship, the third in a row, which you predicted start of the year, would happen for them 35 straight. What do you want to say to Coach Blunt here?
Well, first and foremost, Jeremy, congrats again on the title. I did pick you in July to win it. Expectations run high at Phoebus, but that's the program you have developed again and continued on from some past coaches, but it definitely have your thumbprint on it. I got to ask you, you know, I'm jealous as a coach. I was fortunate in my life to win one. You've got three in a row. It's kind of on your schedule now. As you look at the three, and if you've had really time to reflect, I see you're busy today too in the community can drive. Hats off to you on that too. Tremendous of you to give of your team to the general public also. How do you look at the three championship teams? What differentiates them, and what is the common bond?
Sure. Yep, I got you. I know you're having a hard time. Yeah, absolutely. Just to repeat his question, because you're having a hard time with us. You want to know what's kind of the common bond and theme of this group and the three-peats of these teams. What would you kind of say to that question as far as the common bond and theme with this team? And I know it's some different cast of characters, but also a lot of the same faces, right?
Right. There are, you know, our seniors, you know, a lot of them started as sophomores during our 2021 campaign. And a lot of our juniors, our 25 class, started as freshmen or received a lot of playing time during that 21 campaign. So I think something that has helped us, you know, when you look at and you put these three, this three-peat together is, there's a lot of familiarity in the locker room, number one. Number two, the experience. But number three, we do create a family atmosphere. And the structure that we keep over top of these guys, with our goals and objectives, we don't sway away from them. We try to cancel out all the outside noise and focus on, what are we trying to accomplish day in and day out? And that's where our objectives come into play when you look at the overall goal. So, we follow that plan and the blueprint is in place and we don't deviate from it. So I think, something that has helped us is just that overall bond that those kids have in that locker room, the buy-in that they have for the coaching staff and their will to, push through all adversity and just find a way to win.
We'll get to your canned food drive and what you got going over there at Phoebus today and at second coach, and also how folks can help contribute to the community as far as to these kids getting those championship rings, and Jackins doing some great things across the 757, which you all are doing even off the field to go with this incredible success. 35 consecutive wins on the field, 10 championships now in 22 years at Phoebus High School. Jeremy Blunt with us here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. I want to go back to something, though. We know about a lot of these headliners, which we've documented all year long on VirginiaPreps.com on our podcast here, as well as on The Hash with Hatfield, the Anthony Reddicks, the Tayshawn Stevensons, the Davion Roberts, the Bull, who's run for so many touchdowns this year for you, and so many other guys like Keyontae Gray. But the ninth grader, it's funny, right before the game, one of your administrators and principals now, and David Coakley, who used to coach football at Nansman, was one of the office mates of Ed there. He told me there's a ninth grade quarterback who's going pretty good for us. Now, little did I know, or anybody know, the fans know that he would be the guy delivering the game-winning touchdown pass. 2 years in a row now, your starting quarterback goes down. Last year it was James. Jaden Early comes in. This year it's Maurikus Banks for Adonis Stowers, who was starting to play really, really well for you. Just speak to just the program and your coaching staff and his teammates, what they all did to help him, and this maturity of this young man to get in that spot, win a couple of tough playoff games. You got to go in against Hampton. You play War Hill. Then you beat a very explosive King George team, and what he accomplished, which will go down in Phoebus lore.
I'll tell you, man. Number one, what's made it special with Reek. I've known Reek since he was 8 years old. My quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, Carson Cutler, he worked Reek out when he was an eighth grader. So it's a testament to the time that he's put in. Reek has learned our system, sitting in our office, going over on the board and watching film when he was 8, 9 years old, man, and that just continues. So he's a hard worker. It's also a testament to the offensive staff and Alonzo Coley, Sekou Wilson. Sekou works with him day in and day out. Alonzo Coley, throughout the course of the season, has taken time to sit down with this kid. So the offensive staff and Sekou, Cutler, and Coley, man, they've done a heck of a job with him. And so the kid was always ready. He was a third-string kid going into our season. So what was cool about his situation was he helped lead our JV team to a three-way tie in a district championship versus by beating Warwick at the end of the regular season, the last game of the season, which was we needed that win to win. So we ended up being a three-way tie with Warwick and Hampton. So that was cool. He led our team to a JV district championship, then comes in second round of the playoffs when Adonis got hurt. And, the kid, you can see the experience and the guts and the poise that this kid had acquired throughout the course of the season. And, it paid off for us. So we never worried about him. Our biggest concern was not putting too much on him. But as the weeks went on, we started to understand that this kid is not your average 15-year-old. He is an intelligent young man that studies the game and he understands it. And that proved to be true, especially that last play. He took that sack. If you go back and look at it on film, that first play from scrimmage when it's 58 seconds, that kid didn't get contact on him. He took the sack. He went down to give us another shot, versus exposing himself. And he was not rattled going back into that second play, So that's why we felt confident taking the shot. And, I just commend my coaches for, the way we handled that entire process during that moment.
There are a lot of things gets talked about during your season. Certainly, when you play rival games like Hampton, you play Oscar Smith out of the gate and you beat them 16-2, and you've won 35 straight games, which is incredible. A lot of people talked about the 104-point game with Jamestown, which was well documented and spoken about. But, Coach, the thing that I'm going to remember about this team and really the legacy at Phoebus year after year is the defense. You hold your opponents this year to 58 total points, 3.9 per game. And there are some legendary Phoebus defenses. We know about that 2008 group that was coached by your former coach, the late, great Bill D. This defense statistically is going to stack up with last year's defense, the 08 defense, and with those seniors that go out here, the Anthony Reddicks who's going to Maryland, Stevenson going to Old Dominion, and so many others. What can you say about them and what they accomplished? And really the game that I think above all else sticks out, not just the Salem game where Peyton Lewis had 373 yards rushing and 4 TDs the week before. He's going to Tennessee. He's an All-American. You hold him with 84 yards rushing and 27 attempts, but you held that King George high-flying attack to no offensive touchdowns. They checked every box, didn't they?
They did. It starts with buy-in. I run the defense, and, so we're going to – the intensity that's going to come in and day out, they understand that the expectations are high defensively. And, we love challenging. The thing is, the higher the competition, the more we get excited about that moment. We want to prove to people that we can stack up against the best of the best offenses. And there are a lot of good ones in our area as well as across the state. So, we were excited about the King George opportunity because we knew they had 2 4-star receivers and those 2 kids are the real deal. They have been lighting people up all year. So going into it, of course, we were the underdog. People felt like we wouldn't be able to contain those guys. So, our guys got excited. They get excited about these type of matchups. So, we put our weekly goals in place and our challenges to them, and they checked every single box throughout the course of the playoffs in regards to what our goals were for each opponent when it came to total yards, first downs, receiving and rushing, and then total yards, of course, and then touchdowns. They checked every box, every single box, week in and week out. So they're going to go down as one of the best. And, we had a lot of big names to leave that defense last year, some special kids. And the way these kids tuned in this off season and bought into the process, and we did have some kids have to step up, and they did. They stepped up very well. So, I'm excited. We got a great core coming back next year that will be, the foundations in place to build upon. So, we'll be putting these same type of expectations over top of them come next year.
A few more minutes here with the now 3 times in a row state champion Phoebus Phantoms. Jeremy Blunt, his team winning at 21-14 at Liberty University in Lynchburg. It is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young from the Plex. We're streaming on VirginiaPreps.com, Twitter at 757 Sports Talks, or X as well, 757 Sports Talk, Facebook and YouTube. Here, Coach, a couple more minutes and we'll let you run. I know you got the canned food drive too, but one of the things Ed wanted to know about was unsung heroes, because you have the headline names, the Reddicks, the Stevensons, the Keyontae Grays, the Paul Stephen Davises, the Davion Robertses, but give me a couple of names. It can be more than a couple of names, be it linemen for you. I know that offensive line unit was a great group with Emery D'Urso and Marcus Hobson and company. Maybe some unsung heroes that were pivotal to your success in this championship journey that you can share with the fans out there.
Well, let's talk offensive line first. You got to start up front, man. Those guys don't get enough credit. So you named Marcus Hobson and Emery D'Urso's. Let's go to our right tackle, Troy Solomon. He's a 2-year starter for us, man. Started as a freshman last year. We're expecting big things from him next year. He had a heck of a season. Let's go to our left tackle, David Applewhite. That guy, he's a grown man right now, on the high school level, and he's going to do some great things. He had a heck of a season. Our left guard, Jaden Hill, 2-year starter. He's one of those kids that was a floater. He started center for us as a sophomore. We moved him, a few weeks into that 22 campaign, and he handled that left guard extremely well. He had a heck of a season this year as well. And then, rotators like Nathaniel Anthony, who anchored the defensive line this year with the absence of Michael McMullen. He and Marcus Hobson and Deshaun Richardson did a great job as a 3-headed monster handling that. So the big guys, you got to start with that credit with those guys. They don't get enough of it, And then you start to look at some of our skill guys. Our skill guys, fullbacks. We got 2 fullbacks, and Jakar Freeman and Christian Wilson. And those guys just love playing for each other. They don't mind who's getting – doesn't matter to them how many touches they get. They just want to go out there and block for Davion. So that's a special thing. Christian Wilson will be back, so that's exciting when you think about that. Now defensively, offensively too, Owen Jefferson stepped up for us big time. He had 6 catches in the championship game, and he's the one to replace Jordan Bass at the safety position. And then Trenton Mitchell, who also started 3 games last year, started safety the entire season. And, he also played some receiver for us. Those guys did a heck of a job. And then Isaac Lipkins, he's another kid that is that rotator at defensive back that can play anything, man. Najee Gay and Dior Hatchett. Those 2 guys playing that outside linebacker position, man. They didn't get enough credit. And they did a heck of a job, replacing Rogers from last year, man, who had an all-state season for us, when he stepped away. So, we got Ricardo Underwood. He's special, 2-year starter for us. We're going to miss him along with Gray. So we got some guys, man, that Brendan Thompson, Caleb Tillery, those two, they're the best duo in the state of Virginia to me, inside linebacker. And we faced two kids in Salem's guys, that they're special. One's going to JMU, one's a Georgia commit, and I'll take my guys all day over them. I'm excited about having those two anchor our defense next year. So we got some special guys coming back, man, and some special guys leaving that, just a testament to what we do here. And I think every coach around the country feels the same way. Pour into your guys and the guys buy in, it's exciting to watch it all translate on the field.
And last two here for you, Coach, you kind of addressed how the new kids, especially the freshmen and sophomores, have come into your program, what it means to play at Phoebus and how they'll get minutes. Just tell me about this tradition. And then, I know you get asked now, as a lot of these coaches that win multiple championships, whether it's Doree McKay now at Maury, Daryl Overton at Freedom, Riverheads had won 7 straight. Obviously, you have Highland Springs and Stonebridge that won multiple titles. You guys at Phoebus now, you really are the standard, the gold standard. It was Hampton in the 90s, the arch rival, as you know. You guys have 10 in the last 22 years, but I feel like, you can compare different teams, but it's almost inarguable. I don't know you can have a better ending to a state championship game than the one you just had with an 80-plus yard TD pass from a freshman to a senior after they came back to tie you up, 2-point conversion. They've got momentum, and you win it that type of way. So just tell me what it does for the camaraderie, the school, the community, the fans to have this type of fitting ending, I think, to your season.
We do a lot of situational phases inside of practice, and we prepare for situations, throughout the course of the week, getting these guys ready just in case any one of these situations may ever occur. So when I look at what ended up happening at the end of the game, man, it's funny because we've never put them 58 seconds with one timeout on the -20, but we have put them in situations on the -26, and we were trying to dig it up the other day. So the most dramatic situation we've ever put these guys in practice was the -20 and the -26, with 1 minute and 1 second with no timeouts. And the second play from scrimmage would be a sack, which would put us to a 2nd and 15 with that time, and they're having to work the clock. So when we took that sack, it was kind of cool because we always reference these things throughout the course of the week when we go over it with the guys on how they handle that 2-minute drill. So when that sack actually happened, for us, we were like, well, we've never been here before in a game, let alone, on a championship level, but we've been here before in practice. And so I could see the confidence in the guys. So to see it all transpire, it was really magical, man. None of those guys wavered. And that's the thing that was so special about it. Like, it was genuine. It was truly a storybook ending to what was a great season. Because not many people gave us a chance after losing the amount of seniors we lost last year, especially when we started off so offensively, trying to figure out the rhythm on offense and who was going to be the play caller and things like that. People didn't really give us a chance, but, coaching staff, the team, the defense, gave that offense a chance to continue to get better and better. So, I'll tell you, man, it's kind of hard. You asked me how many times have I looked at that clip? I'm telling you, anytime that thing crosses my feed or, something, I'm going to watch it, because just to know what went into it and the preparation and the commitment and the amount of sacrifices that were made, I wouldn't have wanted that game to be a blowout. I'm happy it ended the way it did, because that means so much more when you look at it in retrospect. So it's an exciting cap to the season.
Absolutely. And even though there's heartbreak for those Salem kids and players and coaches put in so much work, it's such joy and happiness for your kids, especially the senior and Gray, to go out that way. The freshman who comes of age in that moment, and all their teammates that have put that blood, sweat, and tears going back to August, and your coaching staff that have grinded for so many hours, thankless hours, with not enough pay, as you all know, because you guys don't do it for the money. That's for sure. And lastly, we'll get you on this. I'm sure we'll follow up with you during the offseason and get you on screen here. We thank you so much for troubleshooting through all the technical issues today. Tell us about the canned food drive you got at Phoebus High School and how people can get involved with helping out for the kids, whether they want to donate for rings or jackets, and with all you've done at Phoebus High School and these kids. Tell them how they can get involved in what you're doing today.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, here again, it's just a testament to this program and the family members involved in the program. My wife wanted to do something to give back, and, so she put together She wanted to count the amount of points that we had at the end of the season, which was 631 total. And we wanted to donate to the food bank. And we wanted to get 631 canned goods or non-perishable items in order to give back and donate. You know, the families here are teen mothers and the kids and, you know, even the fathers, you know, everybody just wanted to chip in, you know. So we started at 9 today. By 9:45, we already had over 650 items.
Wow.
That's what makes this community special. I don't know what we're going to do with all this stuff right now because it's loading up. I'm pretty sure by the time I get back over there, we're going to be well over 1,000 just at that rate. So, you know, it's exciting to see people in the community give back. It's exciting to see these kids come out and take time out of their schedule to be a part of this process because it's something that they're going to keep with them for the rest of their lives. You know, that's what this thing's about, man. Sports are great, you know, but it's a tool that we use, you know, to get these kids prepared for manhood and womanhood, you know. So I'm happy that they're buying into this because we want them to be productive citizens in society when it's all said and done. So it's been a great morning.
Well, it's so cool to see you, the evolution of you from a state champion player to a young coach, and now you've developed into one of the finest coaches in the entire state, 3-time state champs in a row here. Jeremy Blunt of the Phoebus Phantoms, thank you so much for all you do, both on the field, off the field. I'm sure we'll connect here during the off season some more, and happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Ed. It's good to talk to you guys this morning. Appreciate you having me.
Got it. That's Coach Jeremy Blunt of the Phoebus Phantoms, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk. They win it in thrilling fashion over Salem, 21-14. As we'll sign off here in just a moment, it is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with the coach now back on the screen now as we will